By the way, a story I wanted to jump in there with, Joe. Oh, I like this. This is in the Wall Street Journal that people are not falling in love with the person, what they look like necessarily, although that helps. People also want to know, hey, baby, can I get your number? And by that, I mean your credit score number. So the Wall Street Journal looks at more people are asking, especially younger people, want to know what your credit score is because they feel as if the credit score directly reflects who you are as a person. Are you responsible? Do you pay your bills on time? Do you make enough money? Because nobody wants to hook their wagon to a broken down old jalopy that's going to break off the side of the road and, have to be sleeping on their mom or dad's couch or trying to, get some sort of... What's that? Hey, that's somebody coming to pick me up at the house. So you just want to make sure that you've got somebody that's got some responsibility. I don't know what the scores are that they're looking for. Is it anybody above 750? I assume the 750s to 780s would be far more attractive than somebody who's hovering around the 500s.
Yeah, I think asking for more than 750, you probably that seems a little classless. I mean, come on.
Yeah, my daughter, who when she would get a bill. Not pay it. And then when the creditors would call, she just wouldn't answer, thinking that would go away. But then when she went to go get a credit card, they're like, yeah, right. So she did get one from Citibank. I think Citibank gave her a credit card with a $200 credit line. And I said, Chucky, this is what you get. When you didn't pay your bills and you walked away from the creditors, and they don't forget these things, they will ding you, and so they have ding and dung you, so you got to work your way back up. So she gets her credit card, she gets her $200, and she's slowly paying it off. And she made the crucial mistake of checking her credit, which then costs you 3 or 4 points on your credit score. So she's like, I can't seem to get ahead. I keep checking my credit. I'm like, no, don't check your credit. Credit is something that is extended to you. It is the weirdest thing because credit is something that you earn. But not in the United States. We don't earn it. It's immediately given to us, and then you have to prove that you didn't earn it. You go back to the original creators of the cars, General Motors and Ford. Ford was making cars, and people were having layaway programs. You want to buy that car, let's say it's $500. The car is going to be $500. You make a small investment. You then eventually get to $500. That's the layaway program, and once you get to $500, I'm using that number, don't remember what it actually cost for the Ford, they would give you the car. Right. Well, General Motors came along and said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to extend credit to you. We'll give you the car, and then you give us a little down payment. We'll give you the car, and then we will allow you to pay for the car on a monthly basis because they realized they could make money on the financing side, and it would be a faster way to get the cars out. So then Ford suddenly said, well, old Henry Ford, the anti-Semitic racist that he was, not that that had to do with his decision, he's like, well, wait a minute, you got to earn credit. You earn the credit, we give you the credit, and they said, listen, GM's kicking our rear ends, you got to do what they're doing, and just let people have the car. Give them a small down payment, get that, and then just have them pay for it on a monthly basis. So then Ford followed GM, and that's where the idea of credit came from.
That was the birth of the score system.
That was the birth of not earning credit, but having credit being given to you and then showing that you're worthy of the credit. But that was the first part of it because General Motors said, hey, we do much better. So the old layaway programs that you used to have, I eventually want to buy the washer and dryer.
But then you had to wait to get it.
You had a layaway. You had to pay a little bit into the old layaway program.
So this gets cars off the lot quicker.
That happened, and that's what happened. And then eventually get into the repo business when you miss 2 or 3 payments, and then they come after you. And then the next thing you know, they're out there getting the car back from you at 2 o'clock in the morning. Because
and now you know the rest of the story.
There you go.
So
good.
that the Wall Street Journal article that you were talking about,
yes.
There's actually a finance company that created a dating app. But to qualify for the dating app, you had to have at least a 675 score.
Right. Yes.
Otherwise,
and my daughter signed up for that.
Did she?
Yeah, because she figured she had heard the story that it's just as easy to fall in love with a rich person as a poor person. So then she started thinking, well, I want to hang around rich people because it'd be better to hang around rich people. And I said, Chuck, don't be your own person. Have your own income. Don't just hook your wagon and think, well, I like this guy because he's got money and you're slucking around, some crappy job making whatever you're making, having him pay for everything. I want you to pay for it. You go out to dinner, you offer to pay. If he offers to pay, thank him very much and say, this one's on me. Show strength and confidence. they'd be far more attractive than just sitting there idly while the person pulls out their credit card and, drops $150 for dinner or something like that. I always like that. And also open the door for him. He should open the door for you when you go to get in the car, but you should open the door for him. So if he opens the door for you and you get in, you then lean across over. No, this is a great move. You lean across over the driver's side. It's not going to be easy because you're small, but get the handle and just as best you can push the door open. Just show it. This balance of I'll do something for you, something nice for you, and you do for me. Holding the door on either side or making an effort to be able to pay. That's the oddest thing. Where you go on dates and hear equal pay and all this other stuff, but then no attempt from the person you're sitting with, often a female in my regard, before getting remarried, no effort to pay. Like, why should I pay?
Right. So did she have any luck with the credit score dating app?
Well, her credit score was so bad.
She couldn't get on.
They couldn't get her on there. Too bad for her. All right, and one last thing. Some listener wrote in the other day. We were talking, Jack, we were talking about faking your own death. I told the story about somebody new. So somebody wrote in, well, you should tell the story about your own death being reported. I almost don't want to tell the story because Felix Banau and other people said, well, this makes you to be out to be a sociopath. But here's the story. A local guy decided he wanted to see if local media checks facts. So he would just, it's so weird. He is the brother of my former dental hygienist. How weird is that?
Okay.
I didn't even know that these two were related. So this guy would call media organizations and report bogus stories. And he wanted to see if the story was ever checked out, how quickly it would run.
Right.
So he called and said, did you hear John Curley, former host of Evening Magazine, has been killed in a seaplane accident? And I forget what local rag wrote it up.
No.
And then KIRO and Como and King, the TV stations, called here and said, did John Curley come into work today? And they said, yeah. Have you heard from him? And they said, no. Apparently he got killed in a seaplane accident. So KIRO called me, and I intentionally didn't answer the phone because I wanted to see how upset people would be that I had died.
Did you get any flowers?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nobody cared.
You don't remember who? I bet was it The Stranger or something where they were celebrating it?
No, because that's a weekly.
Okay.
No,
you know, you just don't want to say.
No, you want to say.
Okay.
And now you know the rest of the story.
One person came to the house at 10:30 at night, burst in the door crying, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Liz. I'm so sorry about John dying." She goes, "He didn't die, he's upstairs." And when I told Felix Banel that, she goes, "So you let people think you were dead just so you could see how upset they were about you?" Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like. Right
Wouldn't
up
you
your
do that?
alley.
Would you do that?
I wouldn't do it, but it seems like something you would do.
Oh, Andrew!
I'd be tempted.
Yes.
It's like interesting to see. It's like
Who's really upset?
Yeah, who's
Come
really into
on. And then see who's talking crap about me.
I don't think that makes you a sociopath. It just makes you curious.
Oh, you go. The curious sociopath. Here's Nate, the big and pumping champion.